This is the watch for trail running. It's what we want to be the ultimate mountain sports watch. The Apex is going to be in that category of people who want to be in the mountains. They want to move fast, train hard, they want to perform, they're racing. The Apex is really for those people in climbing, trail running, and skiing that are looking to perform at their best.
Hey everyone and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex with Met Endurance. We are here at UTMB in Chamonix, France. And when you're watching this video, it's a bit later in the year. COROS is announcing a new product and we are very lucky to have Darian with us. He's going to tell us everything about the new watches. Darian, how are you doing?
Doing well. I'm excited to be here in Chamonix. It's my first time and very excited to talk about the Apex 4.
Can you briefly explain what you're doing for COROS and where you're based maybe?
I've been with COROS for about 4 years. I'm based in Denver, Colorado, and day to day I mainly do product marketing. So trying to make sure that when we talk about these watches, everything we talk about makes sense to our users and they understand the value.
Is there any specific reason we're discussing this watches in Chamonix?
This is the watch for trail running. It's what we want to be the ultimate mountain sports watch. So when we think about the COROS product line, the Apex is going to be in that category of people who want to be in the mountains. They want to move fast, train hard, they want to perform, they're racing, as compared to maybe even the Nomad that we just launched is going to be on the adventure or outdoor leisure side. And then when you look at the Pace and the Verdict, so the opposite ends of the spectrum, the Pace series will be more urban road running, while the Verdict series is going to be really expedition focused, multi-day through hikes, things like that. So the Apex is really for those people in climbing, trail running, and skiing that are looking to perform at their best.
I was going to ask you if it's only trail running, but you touched upon it. Yeah. Why these three sports specifically, and is there anything new, anything exciting about these three sports on the new Apex series?
Yeah, one of the reasons that these three sports are so well fit for the watch is also because they have a lot of overlap, not only in the people that are in those sports, but also in the way that they train. So when you look at any type of a GPS watch, you're looking at your training load, your heart rate, how much, trying to quantify how long should I recover, how long should I train for? And those three sports are going to have a lot of similarities there, but also we believe that with Apex 4 and with all of our products, we'll be able to provide a really good solution to those people and provide a great experience. So there are some new things on the Apex 4 that will help with each of those sports, and then specifically on the climbing side, some things that'll be really fun.
I was going to ask you what are the updates compared to Apex 3, but now I realize you're jumping directly from Apex 2. Can you maybe explain what happened here?
It's something to just make it simpler to understand for consumers. So we launched the first Pace watch early, and what has happened is that the Pace series has been one number ahead of our other watches with the Apex and Verdicts. And so we're jumping to Apex 4 to make sure that when people are looking at future products, they know, oh, these are all the same generation and I don't feel like I'm getting an outdated watch.
Is it also a kind of a hint at a Pace 4 coming up soon on the horizon?
It could be, but not any dates that we can mention, unfortunately.
Right, let's come back to the features. And you said climbing is really something you're excited about with this watch. Can you explain what's going on with climbing and the Apex 4?
In climbing specifically, and I'll touch on one thing that encompasses all three just briefly before for some context, but adventure journaling is something on the software side that just released with Nomad that we're really excited about. And so adventure journaling is really just a way to store more rich data within an activity summary. So activities are now going to be able to support photo and video for looking back at after the fact. You can upload those directly to the app, and then it will also support voice. So starting with Nomad and now with Apex 4, the watches will have a microphone that during an activity you can hold and record what we call a voice pin. And that voice pin will be saved in the app and it can play back automatically. And it will also do a voice to text transcription. So the reason I bring that up as important is because if you think about with climbing, if you're halfway up the wall, and we know climbers that actually will get their phone out and record a selfie of beta mid-route. And so what we're trying to solve is that problem where with Apex 4, you'll be able to record that voice pin on the wall and then look back at it. So when the next time you go out, and you could apply this to all sports, you'll have that data to look back on, and it's really recon for future planning to say, oh, this is how I can do it better and perform better.
You mentioned the voice pin can be transcribed into text.
Yeah.
Is this happening in the watch, or is it the app that's doing the work for the transcription?
It's in the app, and so the reason being, when you look at an activity summary, like in any app, whether it's us, Garmin, Suunto, you're going to have kind of 4 key things with COROS now. And so one is that core data, like your activity, heart rate, your pace, GPS track. Now we're also going to want to support photo, video, the voice pins, and then also a way to share it. And so those are really like the 4 things that we think make up a great activity summary, so you can see them and use them all in one place.
Now, Darren, let's imagine I'm climbing and I want to record a voice pin. Do I have to bring my my wrist to my head, or how does it work?
Good question. So the other thing with Apex 4 that should be really exciting is we are revamping our carabiner, which was previously only available to Vertex watches. And so this carabiner will have a leash on it. So when you're climbing and you have the harness on, you'll have Apex 4, you'll be able to have Apex 4 on a carabiner with a leash that you can actually pull up, and then you can talk to it right in front of your face, or you'll be able to just look at maps and other things more closely, and that keeps your wrists free. So if you're doing crack climbing or anything along those lines, you're not having a watch that's getting in the way, but you can still record all the data.
This is for climbing. Now, what's new for trail running?
For trail running, the biggest improvements are really going to be maps. Maps are always a huge focus for any sport, but particularly with trail running, we will support satellite maps, which is new. It's going to be more rich data that you'll be able to just see more detail about what's around you. And then also with Apex 4, it's a new processor. So the new processor just allows for very, very fast map interactions when you're moving it with the dial panning around. You'll also have road and trail names and points of interest on the map, so that, again, you just have a little bit more context without needing to pull out your phone. And the other two hardware things that are really impressive on Apex 4 would be a new satellite chipset, and it will have a GPS algorithm that's tuned for vertical. So if you're here in Chamonix and you're going up right outside the door and you're doing 2,000 feet right within a mile, you'll have just more accurate data, as well as a dual range barometer, which is just a fancy way to say that it's more accurate to sensitive changes or fast changes, whether it's weather or the actual terrain.
Is this also relevant for skiing? Because you said skiing is the third activity that you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Is the barometer something that you're excited about for skiing specifically?
Very, very relevant to skiing, because skiing, obviously, you're going to be moving very fast downhill. So that's something we're really excited about. And along with that, being more aware of how the weather's changing around you, with the barometer being able to alert you of that within skiing, and having more detailed maps like we were talking with the satellite maps. It's a really important thing for skiers to know, mainly for safety. You'll have the navigation. If it's whiteout conditions, you still can follow the route. It will tell you when you're off course, but especially with backcountry, that's going to be a huge focus, is just keeping you safe.
That's super cool. Now I see that you have one in your hands. There's another one, looks very similar. Is that also the hardware of the Apex 4?
It is. So with Apex 4, we have two different sizes. Just a personal preference. Maybe if you're like me, you have smaller wrists, you want to have the thinner watch. But the two different sizes, they will have different sizes of battery, and they will also be, both of these are going to be customizable like COROS watches weren't previously, which is really exciting. So at checkout, as a consumer, you'd be able to say, I want the white watch, but maybe I want the black band, or vice versa. And we'll have some other band options available online. And so then instead of having to go through an accessories page and pay extra, you'll be able to do that right from checkout.
Can you mentioned you would go for the smaller one. Can you share your preferences when it comes to the watch and the band that you would pick yourself?
I think I would go for white and white. I think it's just a very clean look with the silver bezel, the silver dial and buttons. It fits more with my wardrobe that I wear outside of activities.
Speaking of hardware, there's also some changes when it comes to the buttons, the positioning, the action button.
Yeah.
What's new?
There's going to be a few things that are new. We already talked about the GPS chipset on the hardware, the barometer. The other things that will be new is the button configuration or the layout. So we've moved the dial up to higher up on the watch, and then we've switched a button actually over to the other side here, and we call that the action button. And so the reason we did that is with Apex 2, Vertex 2, other watches, we got feedback that the dial being in the middle, you could accidentally press it if your wrist is moving too much. And particularly like with skiers, if you have gloves on, that could have been a problem. So the dial's moved up. That's really just ease of use. And then with the action button on this side, it can be programmed essentially as a shortcut. And so with previous COROS watches, if you were trying to get from one data page to a map, you'd scroll through all of them essentially in a vertical carousel. And now with Apex 4, you can have, let's say, maps set as the action button, and it'll switch horizontally so that I'm either on maps or I'm within my activity data pages. And it doesn't matter which page you're on. You don't have to flip through 8 or 10 pages to get to one. You can just press that button, flip to maps, and then flip back to the data pages.
Can you configure the action button to do other things than moving in between menus and features?
Yeah, it can be customized as a shortcut for, right now, just a few things. It's something that we'll continue to develop in the future for even more shortcuts, but The two most notable would be maps and then also to save a pin or a voice pin. So if you are on a long trail run, you want to remember a spot for camping in the future, quick press on the action button. You can just save the pin and say campsite for the future, or maybe even add some voice to it if you want to have more detailed notes.
You touched upon it, but battery life is a huge topic, obviously, for everyone being in the outdoor space. Can someone run with the new Apex a cutoff time for UTMB, which is right about 47 hours?
They will be able to. So with the 46 millimeter, they'll be well above 50 hours. So hopefully most of the people coming through for TDS right now would be okay as well. But one thing to note on Apex 4 is with the battery life is that since the Pace Pro, we've done away with standard GPS. And so we have an all systems option and we have a dual frequency option, but no standard GPS. And essentially that was a decision that we made because we find that the benefit you get from all systems, so using any of the 5 major satellite systems above you, you get so much more accuracy that we find it to be important because with any GPS watch, there are 3 data inputs that impact every data output. So all the things that we look at every day, your recovery, your training load, your sleep, everything is going to have some hand in the data inputs. And those inputs are heart rate, elevation, and then GPS. And so we want to make sure that we're doing what we can within activities to make sure that those are highly accurate so that you're able to be confident in the training data you're seeing.
Obviously, for battery life, there's one other topic, which is the type of display that you're using. What did you pick here?
We went with memory and pixel. So it's our 3rd generation of memory and pixel screens. And we still find memory and pixel to be the best solution for people that truly are using this as an outdoor sports watch and not a daily watch. And the reasons for that is that a memory and pixel watch will be always on and it won't sacrifice a lot of battery. So if we look at our Pace Pro, we do have an always on option, but that is going to consume a lot more battery, particularly in daily life. And one thing with our Apex and Vertex series that we focus a lot on is not only can it last through one race, but also how long is it going to last you in your training? Do you have to worry about charging it all the time? Memory and pixel is going to have much better longevity in daily use. The always on screen also means that if you just need a quick glance at the wrist during an activity, if you're pulling it up from the carabiner, if you mount it to your handlebars, wrap it around for mountain biking, you'll never have a problem seeing it. And then the other one with memory and pixel that I think is going to be something that we continue to look at is just that the efficiency from a battery gain during an activity is still really strong. I think that AMOLED has made a lot of improvements, and we saw that with our Pace Pro, still getting 30 hours of GPS, but memory and pixel is still going to allow for just longevity of a single activity to be able to power through.
I think right now we can't quite discuss the price point and release date.
Yeah.
I mean, release date is something that you're all aware about because we're releasing this video on release date. But you'll have all the info in the description of this video. Darian, thank you so much for your time and all the info you provided. And see you soon for more exciting stuff.
Yeah, thank you.